is Major League Baseball had their Home Run Derby and All-Star weekend, or All-Star week, I should say, with the All-Star game occurring yesterday. Uh, so the Home Run Derby was fun because I love the Home Run Derby regardless. I feel like they dropped the ball a decent amount on the way that it was presented. And what I mean by that is they did not, like, if you watched it, like, did you watch the Home Run Derby?
I missed it.
Okay. So the way that they did it was like the guy would be swinging and just taking pitches and just hitting balls. And it would be like the guys would be like, yeah, he really hits from power. Oh, there's his third home run. Like, oh yeah, that one was actually that previous one that he hit a couple ago was 520 feet. Pretty impressive. That's an actual record. And you're like, why am I not seeing this live? Why is like they used to have like the distances on every home run, and it used to be like as soon as the ball left the bat, it was like there it goes, it's going, and you're like, it gets you excited like just for every home run. And I know that they have sped it up a little bit, and I actually like the style that they're using, with it being a 3-minute period where guys are just able to hit home runs. Because before, the way that it worked is they had 10 outs, which essentially meant that if they missed 10 hits, like say they hit one and it was like a line drive and it missed the fence and it didn't go over for a home run, that was considered an out. And then they would only get 10 of those. So it was unfortunate because if guys went on runs late, like say they picked up 6 or 7 outs before they started going on a run, they might not be able to reach 15, 20, 25 home runs because they weren't able to get into a groove, after missing a couple. Whereas the new, thing you saw with Ohtani, he was a perfect example of why the new format is better, in my opinion, is the dude barely, I think he hit like 3 home runs in the first 2 minutes almost of his 3-minute segment, but he just got into a groove towards the end and started blasting them. And that's when he was able to catch up to Sosa. And it was a great matchup, which you see right now. You're just about to see on your screen here in a second. Is their matchup was a perfect epitome of why this new format was great, but the actual execution of it on TV, the production was not, because it was exciting to watch them because Sosa came out, and Ohtani getting Sosa in the first round is a heck of a ask, because he is a power hitter. And the fact that he was ranked as low as he was because he hasn't hit as many home runs or whatever is, or Soto. I keep calling him Sosa. Soto.
I was
Sorry.
confused.
Soto. Yeah, I was throwing me off there. Wrong game. The reason why Soto is a great hitter is because he's a great power hitter, and he's been that way since he came into the league. And so the fact that Ohtani pulled him in the first round was, already going to be a ridiculous matchup. Because if Soto, wasn't going against Ohtani, he would instantly be the favorite in whatever matchup it was, except for maybe Pete Alonso. But we'll get to that in a minute. But so it was a great matchup to begin with, the first round. And Ohtani came back and ended up catching him with 22 home runs. And then it went to a swing off where they each got a minute to hit as many as they could. It was funny because Ohtani actually, one of his last hits just missed being a home run. Otherwise, he would have beat Soto right there in the swing off. And then it went to a second swing off where it was 3 swings. I'm sorry. And Soto hit 3 home runs on all 3 swings. And then Ohtani missed the first swing. And it was like, okay, it's over. You can't catch up. He hit runs. So, you missed the first one. That's it. So Ohtani put up a great effort, and it was an incredible opponent. So not a bad showing at all by him by any means. And I do think that Ohtani will be fine, because a lot of times with the Home Run Derby, it tires people out, especially if they compete in long term. And it can mess with your swing because you're hitting it differently, because you're hitting it from basically a pitcher that you bring in for for BP, basically batting practice, and it's very different than obviously a live pitcher. So it can mess with players' swings. I don't think it'll mess with Ohtani's because I feel like his swing is just so different. Now, the one thing I will say is I do feel like Ohtani would have beaten Soto had he had experience with this pitcher. They literally said this is the first time that he had swung against this pitcher in BP since like March.
Wow.
So like literally been months since he had hit against him, which there's a chemistry thing. There's a, the pitcher knows where you like it, how fast you like it, for BP, in order to get into your groove. And that's literally the entire home run derby is getting into your groove. So I think it took a while for Ohtani to find that. And that's when he was able to finally catch up. I do feel like if he had caught that groove a little earlier, he probably would have won this matchup. But whatever, regardless, it was still a fun showing, especially going to double, overtime or whatever, or double second swing off, whatever you want to call it. It was awesome. And then Pete Alonso just being an absolute beast, which if you want to put that photo back up there, I know you just swapped. Yeah, Pete Alonso being an absolute power hitter, beast, pure as a power hitter as you can be in baseball. He is, and he ended up winning it for the second year in a row, which was awesome. I'm pretty sure he put like 35 home runs in the first round or something stupid like that. Just awesome. And it's why I love the home run derby, and that's why I love the new format, is because they can really just unload, and it's great. Like I said, just up your production. I don't like, it was just sad. Like, it was just watching it was like not as exciting as it used to be. Like
I'm
it would
seeing
just
like a
get so
common pattern here. I don't know. Have we talked about this before?
Oh yeah,
Something
I
with the
feel like
MLB.
we've talked about baseball just
Hmm.
absolutely dropping the ball in every category they could as far as advertising. Go watch those clips of my rants, my anger rants. I'm getting even worked up right now just thinking about it. Gosh darn it, I hate freaking baseball with all my heart, and I love it with all the same too.
Yeah.
Ah,
Love
ah,
baseball, hate the MLB. It's okay.
God, yeah.
It's
Love the
rational.
sport. Absolutely hate what they're doing with advertising.